What's going on, guys? Welcome to class. Today we're going to be going over class based around lower back pain and what we can do preventatively and in the rehab sense for anything that you have for lower back pain, okay? Lower back pain usually stems from three different things. Usually it's a lack of mobility or control within the hips, specifically rotation-wise. Being able to control your spine properly, and in particular being able to disassociate your lumbar spine, so the lower back, from the rest of the spine. And then the last thing is going to be all about core control and how much pressure we can create within the abdomen, okay? Today I've got a yoga block and a band, two things you're going to need. As always, we're going to start with our daily cars routine and we're going to go from there, okay? So starting down onto both knees, let's get nice and comfortable in this position, sitting back onto our hind legs, hands at the side. Squeeze your fist here. Let's start with our neck cars. Tuck that chin straight down to the middle of your chest. From here, let's look right as far as you can. Drop right ear back behind right shoulder. Chin looks up towards the ceiling. Rotate left. Drop left ear. Tuck that chin and come all the way back through. And let's just continue this motion. Try and draw as big a circle as you can with that chin at your own pace. If you're new to class, one thing we don't want to do is press through any sort of closing angle pain, okay? So closing angle pain, if I'm rotating left and I feel it in my left side here, all I want to do is just make that circle a little bit smaller. Let's get another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we'll tick-tock, going left now. Same exact thing, drop left ear, chin goes up towards the ceiling, rotate right, drop right ear, scrape that chin across. 30 seconds total. Let's go for another 20 more. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Excellent, guys. From here, let's grab that yoga block if you have one. Arms are going to go out nice and straight. Let's get some scat cars in here, okay? So arms are straight. I'm going to press that yoga block as far forward as I can, keeping my arms nice and straight. From here, I'm going to elevate my shoulders up towards the ear. Squeeze the shoulder blade back, touch the shoulder blades together in retraction. From retraction, drive shoulder blades down towards back pocket as far as you can go. Press shoulder blades forward. Elevate, retract, depress, protract, elevate, retract, drive shoulder blades down, and press them forward. Let's do the same thing going the opposite way. I'll go to the side so you guys can see what I'm doing. Press forward as far as you can. Up with the shoulder blades as much as you can. Retract them back. Keep that retraction. Drive them down. So we're just drawing a nice circle with our shoulder blades here. Keeping this motion as smooth as possible. We got another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Awesome. Moving down the chain, let's get into our elbows. So same thing, I'm going to be down onto my hind legs here. My palms are going to start turned out. I'm going to glue my elbows to the side, make sure that biceps are pointing forward. I'm going to flex my hands up, keeping the palms as open as possible. Turn them down so the hands finish inside of the shoulders. Slowly control all the way down and then opening back up. So this is what we call supination here. I'm actively trying to pull my thumbs as far down as I can as I flex up, and then I'm turning them into pronation as much as I can here. Let's get one more. And then we'll keep the supination so my hands are inside of my shoulders. And let's just go the opposite way. Flex up, Open the palms. Control all the way down. We got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Excellent. From here, elbows, we're going through wrist cars here, okay? So palms are gonna stay pointed up towards the ceiling. Nice karate chopped hands here. I want you to take both your middle fingers, point them at each other, point them down to the ground, draw as big a circle as we can, flexing up, in, down, out, and up. Just controlling through these, making sure we're paying attention to the forearms. Don't let those forearms move at all. If I was to put a phone on your forearms, that phone should not fall. 3, 2, 1, then we're going the opposite way. Same exact thing. A lot of cracking, popping the wrist, that's totally fine. Nothing too concerning there. We got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Let's move on to our spine now. We're gonna get a lot of hinge positions in one of our hinge work in one of our base positions today. So let's go through a global spine car, draw as big a circle as we can with our spine, okay? So I'm gonna cross my hands over my chest here. I'm gonna start up nice and tall. From here, I'm going to flex all the way down from my spine, okay? So I'm thinking about folding forward as much as I can. Rib cage is trying to come down to the front of my pelvis. Once we're here, hold this flexion down and simply rotate as far as you can left. Try to turn your chest as far to the left as you can. From here, drop left shoulder down. Bend backwards, chest goes up towards the ceiling. Holding here. From this position, rotate right as far as you can. Drop right shoulder. And flexing all the way down and through. Let's get 2 more going left. Drop left shoulder. Chest looks up towards the ceiling. Rotate right. Get that lateral bend right. And flexing. Each rep here should it should feel like you're getting a little bit bigger. That nervous system's allowing for us to get a little bit more range of motion. And let's hold this flexion here. Rotate right as far as you can. Drop right shoulder. Chest up towards the ceiling. Rotate left. Drop left shoulder. Flexing all the way down and through. 2 more going right. What we can do here is we can see, are you a little bit tighter going to the right, going to the left? That's really good stuff to note. And to be honest, it's going to be different each day, okay? So what we can do is when you're doing these for your morning cars, you can assess what feels a little bit tighter each morning and then sprinkle that stuff in throughout the day. Excellent, guys. Let's continue working our way down. Let's go into our hip car. For the hip cars, let's do these side lying, okay? So I'm gonna be down on my right side here. Left knee is gonna be up on top. I'm using my yoga block as a pillow. I'm gonna go both hands out nice and straight. Let's bring our hips and knees to 90 degrees. And in this position, I'm gonna take my left knee. And again, we're gonna try to draw the biggest circle as we can with this left leg. So I'm gonna move my left knee straight up to my chest first. From here, left knee and foot go straight up towards the ceiling. Keeping my knee right where it is, I'm going to kick my foot backwards, keeping that left knee bent at 90 degrees. I'm going to extend back and slowly drop that hip down towards the ground. Let's get 2 more reps of these all the way up. Knee and foot up and towards the ceiling. Kick that foot back, find that rotation. Slowly drop the leg down. And let's get 1 more. Flexing up. Knee and foot up towards the ceiling. Kick that foot back behind us. Slowly drop that leg. And we're here. Excellent. Good. Flipping over to the other side. Let's get right into that right leg. Lying on our left side here. Same exact thing, create a little bit of tension with your hands going out straight. Cores, everything's nice and tight. Flex the right hip up, right knee and foot up and towards the ceiling. Kick your foot back, find that little bit of rotation. I'm a little bit tighter in here today, so I'm gonna slowly move through my transitions, really try to carve out as much range of motion as I have in this hip. Flex, abduct, kick foot back, slowly drop knee down. Let's get one more. Right knee up, right knee and foot up towards the ceiling. Kick that foot back, and knee comes all the way down. Excellent. From here, I want to get into half kneeling position. Just realized that we forgot to do some shoulder cars. Let's make sure that we get those in. So I'm going to go left knee up here, right knee's down on the ground. We're going to go through our left hand, left arm for our shoulder cars here, okay? So my chest is nice and square, core, everything's nice and tight. We're going to come up and across the body. Again, trying to draw as big a circle as I can with my left middle finger. Once I'm in this position here, I'm taking my bicep, I'm going to rotate it back behind me as far as I can, trying to reach back behind me as far as I can as I continue to rotate that shoulder, and knuckles finish at my hip. From here, reach straight back, unwind the bicep, bicep reaches up to your ear, across the body, back down and through. 2 more reps here, up and across, bicep to ear, rotate that bicep back behind you, reach the arm back, don't let your shoulder shrug up, and knuckle finishes at your hip. Extend, unwind, bicep to ear, across the body, all the way back and through. Let's get into our right arm. I'll go from the side so you guys can see from this perspective. Taking my right hand goes inside of my right leg. My palm starts facing forward. Taking that right hand, I'm coming up and across the body. As I reach back behind me, my right bicep is right by my right ear. I'm going to rotate, and as I'm reaching back, continue rotating that shoulder down, squeezing as much rotation out as we can until the knuckles come to the hip. From here, extending back, unwind the bicep, nice big circle, palm up towards the ceiling, across the body, back down and through. 2 more reps, up and across, bicep to ear, internally rotate, reach back, squeezing as much rotation out as we can, reach, unwind, up and across the body, and we're back down. Back down into the lower body here. Let's get in seated position for our knee cars. For our knee cars, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my right hand, reach it underneath my right leg, pull that right knee up towards my chest, okay? I'm going to take my right foot, I'm going to point it up towards my shin. Now we've locked that knee out. We know we're just moving from the knee, okay? I've taken my hip out of play. I'm taking my ankle out of play by getting as much dorsiflexion as I can. And from here, we're looking at the shin, making sure we're rotating from just the shin, okay? So we're gonna start an external rotation first. So I'm gonna take my shin bone and I'm gonna rotate it out to the side as much as I can. From here, I'm going to extend my leg as straight as I can, rotate it in as much as I can, and then flex it back down. Mini circles here with the knee, really feeling that rotation. Shin bone should go out, it turns in, and then flexes down. Out, up, in, down. Keeping in now, let's go circle the opposite way. Up, out, down, and in. So my shin bone is turned in now. Up, out, down, and in. Excellent. From here, taking my left hand, let's latch onto the left shin. We're gonna go through some ankle cars now, okay? So ankle cars, just drawing a nice circle with my ankle. Start by flexing up as much as you can. In, down, out, up. In, down, out, and up. Just moving through these. And then we'll go the opposite way. Again, making sure our shin's not moving. Feeling where our tightness lies within that ankle. And let's move to the opposite leg. From here, left hand goes underneath left leg. We're locking our thigh out now. Ankles pointed up towards the shin, locking that ankle out, making sure we're just moving through our shin and in through our knee. Let's start internal rotation now. So I'm feeling the inside hamstring working, inside top of the calf, and I'm taking my shin bone and rotating it in as much as I can. Tough position there, so if you don't have a lot, don't worry about it. Up, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, out, down, and in. Let's go the opposite way now. So keeping it out, up, in, and down, out, up, in, and down. Let's block that shin out of play. Keep it nice and controlled here. From this position, pointing foot up towards the shin, drawing as big a circle as we can with our ankles now, finding that rotation, big circles here, not just moving through them quickly, but really try to touch the end range of motion with each point in our ankle. Same thing going the opposite way. We'll go 3, 2, 1, and relax. Awesome, guys. That's our daily cars routine. Let's get into some lower back specific stuff, okay? First thing we're gonna do, we're gonna start into 90-90 position, all right? So let's go left leg in front. And so what we can do, we can form check our 90-90 is we can look at our front leg here, okay? Is the front leg thigh coming 90 degrees out of my hip? That looks pretty good there. Is my front knee bent at 90 degrees? So I have a nice little 90-degree angle in this front leg position. So this all looks good. And then what we can do is we can check the back leg, same sort of thing. Is this hip coming out at 90 degrees? And is my knee bent at 90 degrees here, okay? And you know, the way that you can really check that is my front leg shin running parallel to my trail leg thigh, okay? So these guys should be running parallel. I should make a nice little circle in between my two legs here. This is how we know we're good in this position, okay? So what I want you guys to do, we're gonna find a stretch for our glutes in the front leg here, okay? So this is gonna be our left leg. So what I want you to do, take your chest, you're going to square it over your front leg. Chest is up nice and tall, and then I want you to slowly sink down into that position, okay? You should try kind of immediately feel a nice stretch in that left glute. If you're one of those people that can walk yourself all the way down here, this is not what I want. The goal is to not get as far down as you can. It's to maintain our position, okay? So instead of folded forward here, I'm gonna bring my chest up nice and tall, and that's gonna really help to accentuate the stretch in that glute. Stretching the glute for lower back pain, this is a really important one. A lot of people that suffer any sort of sciatica or just kind of chronic lower back pain, they have a lot of tightness in these hip rotator muscles, particularly in the posterior. If you're anyone that experiences any sort of pain running down the leg, this is going to be one of the best things that we can do, okay? That sciatic nerve runs right through those hip rotator muscles, and if those guys are tight, it's going to squeeze the hell out of that sciatic nerve and just give you all of that nervy tight pain going down your leg or stuff that resonates in the lower back, okay? So we're going to spend some time in this stretch here, really make it feel good. Chest stays up, point that tailbone back behind you, folding into that position. Let's get a couple breaths here. One more. So while we're here, we can hold this stretch for however long we want. That's great. That's going to build us kind of passive range of motion. But in order for us to really start to control this position that we in particular this hip rotation, and to get the muscles that are around that sciatic nerve to start functioning properly, we've got to add some force within that hip, okay? So we're going to do two different contractions. Pails and rails, if you guys are familiar with that. If you're not, don't even worry about it. It's just going to be contractions on one side of the hip and the other side of the hip, okay? So the first thing we're going to do, where we're feeling that stretch, we're going to turn those muscles on, send some good feedback to it, okay? We're going to do that by just 10% effort, taking our left foot and pressing it down into the ground. And you should, again, immediately feel that stretched tissue start to turn on. What we're going to do is we're going to get a 30-second hold here, and throughout that 30 seconds, I want you to slowly ramp your tension up, okay? So we started at 10%. Let's go 25, 50%, just pressing this left foot down. Don't let the knee come off the ground. 75%, press this left foot down, and let's hold this. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, stay right where you are. We're going to work the opposite side of the hip now, so in where the groin is. We're going to do that by trying to drive our left knee down into the ground and pick our left foot up off the ground. Again, you're not going to be able to get that foot up off the ground at all. And immediately, again, you should feel that deep kind of inner hip type muscles working here. Same thing, 30 seconds, actively try to pull that foot up off the ground, holding it here. Slowly ramping your tension up, so let's get into 50%, 75, holding it here. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Again, don't lose your position. Keep that chest up nice and tall. Point that tailbone back behind you. We've got one more rep of both of those contractions. So as you relax, you probably felt yourself, you're able to kind of get into that stretch a little bit more. You have a little bit more comfortable feeling in this position. That's a great thing. That's a great sign. That's our nervous system just giving and allowing for us to be in this position a little bit easier, okay? You have this range of motion. We just got to get our body to get us into this position, okay? Same thing, pressing this left foot down to the ground. A little bit faster ramp up this time, so let's go right into 50%. 75%, feeling that left glute, and then as hard as you can, drive that left foot down and holding it here. Don't lose your chest, keep it up nice and tall. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, left knee stays down. Pick that left foot up and hold that there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Again, staying right where we are. Get more comfortable in this position. This should feel pretty good at the moment. All right, so general kind of concept with any sort of lower back pain is just to stretch these muscles. Just kind of get here, hold it, and stretch it 3 times 30 seconds, whatever your old school physical therapist used to give you. Obviously, we've done a lot different than that for that backside stuff, okay? But we do want to pull ourselves into a little bit of a dynamic stretch, but we want to make sure that we're contracting tissue in order to make that worth it, okay? So what we're going to do is we call it a kinetic stretch. So my chest is going to be up nice and tall, and we're going to stretch ourselves down into this position here, really feel that backside glute working, and then we're going to come back up. As we're doing it, we're gonna pull ourselves down into that position. Once we get to the bottom, we're gonna press ourselves out of it, okay? So we're pulling ourselves down, pressing ourselves out of this position. So what you're gonna do, keep that chest up nice and tall. As you fold forward, you're gonna pull left knee and foot up towards your chest. And then when you get to the bottom, you're gonna press left knee and foot down into the ground, pressing out of that position, okay? So we're gonna get 3 seconds down, a little bit of a pause, 3 seconds out. We got 8 reps of these, okay? So your standard stretching, just with a little spice to it. Chest up nice and tall, pull left knee and foot up towards chest. 3, 2, 1. Drive left knee and foot down. 3, 2, 1. Pull up. 3, 2, 1. Press down. 3, 2, 1. Keep that chest up the whole time. Tailbone pointed back behind you. Pull up. 3, 2, 1. Press down. 3, 2, 1. Last one here. Chest up. Pull up. 3, 2, 1. Drive down. 3, 2, 1. And relax there. Awesome, guys. Really good stuff for this leg. Let's do the same thing on the right side. So flipping right over to the right side. Same exact form check here. Okay, so my right leg coming directly out of my hip. Right knee's bent at 90 degrees. I'm looking back. My left leg is here. My left thigh is running parallel to my right shin. I've got 90-degree angles all over the place. This is exactly what we want. All right. So from here, let's go again, chest up, point your tailbone back behind you, sink down into this stretch. We're just going to hold this stretch here. Okay. We always want to hold our stretch passively first because this is what gets our nervous system to really relax. It's going to allow us to be in this position and then input that force, those contractions, to really change the climate, the dynamic of how everything in this line of tension is working, okay? So keeping that chest up nice and tall. Let's get a big breath in and big breath out. Again, all the tissue on this back side of the hip, a lot of times this posterior capsule type stuff is what's limiting how our lower back moves. Can even be if you have a pinch in the front of your hip when you're squatting, anything like that. Tightness in the back of the hip is going to really cause that stuff, okay? So this is one of the best stretches you can do. Really bow into the stretch. Try to get it as deep as you can. And for yourself, you don't need to be exactly where I am because your hip is a lot different than what my hip looks like. So you can rotate to the right a little bit. You can be all the way down here just as long as you don't lose your spine. I don't care where you're at, as long as you're feeling that deep back side of your hip stretched. That's exactly what we want. All right, in this position here, let's press right foot down into the ground. Let's get that low level, kind of longer effort here. Feel that right glute turn on. Ramp it up to 25%, 50%, 75%. Let's just hold here another 15 seconds. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Keep that chest up. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Now let's work the front of the hip, pressing right knee down, trying to pick my right foot up off the ground. Feel the inside of that right hip working and hold that. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Keep that chest up. 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Sink into the stretch a little bit if you can. If not, just feel more comfortable with where you are. Keep that chest up nice and tall, holding this position. We're going to do another set. Same thing with those contractions. A little bit faster ramp up this time. Right foot down into the ground, 50%. 75%. And as hard as you can, drive that right foot down and hold that there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Right knee drives down. Try to pick that right foot up and hold that as hard as you can. 10, 9, a little bit of shaking here. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Excellent. Feel more comfortable with where you are. Really try to point that tailbone back behind you. Keep that chest up. Let's get a breath. Awesome. Let's get into that kinetic stretching now, okay? So we're starting here. I'm pulling my right knee and foot up towards my chest as I sink down, feeling the inside of the hip working. And then I'm pressing my right knee and foot down to the ground, feel my glute working, pressing myself up out of that stretch, okay? Pull right knee and foot up. 3, 2, 1. Press right knee and foot down. 3, 2, 1. Pulling up. 3, 2, 1. Pressing down. 3, 2, 1. Pulling up. 3, 2, 1. Pressing down. 3, 2, 1. 4 more of these. Keep that chest up. If you want to progress this, take your hands off the ground. Pull knee and foot up. 3, 2, 1. Press knee and foot down. 3, 2, 1. Pull up. 3, 1. Press down. 3, 2, 1. 2 more. Pulling up. And pressing down. Last one. 3, 2, 1. Press down. 3, 2, 1. And relax there. Awesome, guys. From here, let's get into quadruped position. We're going to do a little bit of spine work. All right, guys, for our lower back stuff, we're going to get into the spine just a little bit here, okay? So we're going to start in quadruped position, and we're going to go through our cat-cow series here, okay? So a normal cat-cow, if you guys are familiar with yoga at all, you're just kind of bringing the chest up. This is cow, into cat, just kind of flexing, extending out the spine, which is really great stuff just to get that spine moving, introducing some load in the flexion and extension, but we can be a little bit better about that, okay? The spine lives off of being able to move independently. If you think of each vertebrae as an individual joint, we should have a little bit of motion within each of those joints, okay? So instead of just flinging through this, what we can do is we can get really specific with how we're moving and move at one vertebrae at a time as we go up, all right? So if you guys want to watch me do this one first and then try it on your own, if you're familiar with it, just rep right along with me, okay? So I'm going to keep my upper body nice and still here, and starting from my lower back, I'm going to point my tailbone up towards the ceiling, not allowing anything else in the spine to move. And then I'm going to continue extending through my lower back. Again, my upper back's not moving. And then I'm getting into my mid back, trying to move from one vertebrae at a time. And then my chest comes up, shoulder blades slide down, head looks forward, and we're fully in extension here, okay? Moving one vertebrae at a time. From this position, my chest stays up. I'm going to tuck my pelvis underneath, going into flexion now, and then move from lower back, trying to bring the front of my pelvis to the front of my rib cage, chest stays up into mid back, start flexing through the upper back, chin tucks down, and we're in flexion. Now, if you guys want to follow along with me, we're up in this flexion position. Point that tailbone back behind you,
into mid back, upper back, and then the chest comes up. Again, slowly moving. Move one vertebrae at a time. While we're here, chest stays up. Keep the chest up. Fight to keep that chest up as you tuck under from the pelvis. Lower back, mid back, and chin. Point tailbone, low back, mid back, slide shoulder blades down, and chest up. Let's get one more here. Chest stays up. Tuck lumbar spine. Front of pelvis comes to front of rib cage. Fighting to move one vertebrae at a time. And we're going to relax from there. Excellent. So when we're talking about lower back pain, what we want to do is we want to be able to move our lower back independently from the rest of our spine. Okay, so say this is my upper spine into my head, and this is my lower back here. I should be able to flex and extend from just that lower back without the rest of the spine moving, okay? Same thing goes for our upper back too. We should be able to move our upper back with our lower back staying still, okay? Because we're more focused on the lower back here, today's class, and how we're moving, we're gonna continue trying to move just our lower back from our upper back, okay? So what I want you guys to do, a really good way to kind of block out the upper back is to drop down onto your forearms, catch your head in your hands, and in this position, press your elbows into the ground. That's gonna lock our upper back out, okay? And then from this position, we're just gonna point the tailbone up towards the sky, trying to get into the lower back. Again, nothing from the upper spine is moving. And then tuck the tailbone underneath. Point tailbone up, extending through the lower back. Tuck tailbone underneath. Find some flexion. Again, this should feel tricky. Should feel like you really can't move at all. That's all totally fine. These are really tough. We only have a small amount of degrees of freedom in the lower back. But again, if we can find this range of motion in the lower back and get it to work without the rest of the spine, it's a really great way to keep our lower backs healthy. Let's get another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Excellent. We're going to continue progressing that lower back disassociation. So I want you to get into our quadruped position, and we're going to find full flexion here, okay? So I'm totally flexed. Everything's tucked under, trying to round my upper back as much as I can, keeping my chin tucked. I'm going to keep my upper back right where it is, driving my hands into the ground, and then I'm just going to cat-cow from my lower back again. So into low back, don't go too high, and then tuck underneath. Point tailbone back, and tuck underneath. Again, not losing your upper back, continue pressing the hands into the ground. Keep that spine flexed as much as possible. We got another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Excellent. Coming up out of that. From here, the last progression, we're going to add just some resistance to it, okay? So I have my band here. If you don't have a band, no, don't worry about it. Just go through these, just body weight, totally fine, okay? So the band is going to be wrapped just above our pelvis in our lower back here, okay? And what this is going to do, it's going to provide two things. It's going to give me a little bit of feedback on where I need to move through the spine, but it's also going to provide some resistance, okay? So I'm going to, again, keep my upper back nice and still, and I'm going to extend just where the band is at the back. So I'm pointing my tailbone, extending from this position. And then from here, I'm going to press up into that band, tuck that pelvis underneath, pressing up into the band, and then holding here, making sure, again, I'm not moving through my full spine, just where that band is. Point tailbone back behind you, band sinks down. Tuck pelvis underneath, press up into band. Point tailbone. Let the band sink you down. Press up into that band. Let it pull you down. 10, 9, not moving from anywhere else here. Feel that pelvis move. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Awesome, guys. Last thing for our spine, for our lower back here, we're just going to get a set of Pales rails for our spine, all right? This is more of a global spine type thing, but adding force into our spine as a whole is going to really help make our lower back feel a little bit better, okay? So what we're going to find is full flexion position here, okay? So we're in quadruped. Let's fully flex our spine, tuck that pelvis underneath. Try to bring the front of your rib cage to the front of your pelvis. Really actively pull that under. That should feel a lot looser now. Tuck the chin down. Press hands into the ground. Shoulder blades slide forward. For our Pales rails here, Pales effort, we're going to press our hands forward and our knees backwards, okay? So I'm going to try to feel my upper back working as I slide my hands forward, and my glutes turn on as I drive my knees backwards, okay? So I'm here, I'm trying to rip the floor apart by sliding my hands forward, sliding my knees back. Let's just start that, hold that position for 10 seconds. Squeeze your glutes, make sure you actively keep the spine flexed down, slide the hands forward as well. 75%. And then as hard as you can, hold that there. Shoulders should be on fire, glutes on fire. Actively pull that front of your pelvis towards the front of your rib cage. Slide hands forward, slide glutes back. 5, 4, 3, 2. Keep your spine where it is. Slide hands down, slide knees forward. Try to get yourself further into that flexion. Feel the core turn on. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Excellent. Sliding up out of that. Give yourself a couple cat-cows. Make that feel good. We've got one more round of those Pales rails, okay? So 2 contractions. We're up into this full flexion. First one, we're trying to rip the floor apart by forward, sliding my knees back. Second contraction, everything stays where it is. I'm going to try to slide my hands in, slide my knees forward, and get deeper into that flexion, okay? Last one here, then we're going to finish with some core work, some breathing. Full flexion, tuck that tailbone underneath. Slide hands forward, slide knees backwards. Feel shoulders, glutes turn on. Don't lose your spine position. 50%. 75 should be shaking hard as you can. Hold this here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Slide hands towards knees. Knees towards hands. Get deeper into that flexion. Feel that core turn on. Hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Excellent, guys. Really nice. From here, let's do some core work, some breathing, create some abdominal pressure. Let's get down onto our backs. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to try to create some pressure in our core, okay? Creating pressure for the core is one of the fundamental things to reduce lower back pain, okay? It's not about how good your abs look, if you have a six-pack or not. It's really about how much pressure can we create within the abdomen to keep everything nice and safe in through there, okay? So there's a couple drills that we can do for that to really try to get everything nice and strong, nice and tight. First thing we can do, as you guys can see, I'm kind of exaggerating my rib cage flare here. So what we can do, if you have one of those and it's pretty pronounced, that's a good sign that, you know, we got to do a lot of rib cage type work and a lot of intra-abdominal pressure type work, okay? But what I want to do for the first exercise is take the rib cage here, and I want you to suck them down, try to actively pull them down, and try to actively press your lower back into the ground, okay? So I'm trying to activate the muscles on my rib cage, trying to squeeze them down towards the front of the pelvis, almost tilting the pelvis just a little bit, and we're just going to hold this contraction for 10 seconds, okay? So relaxed, if you can see, I'm up like this, contracted, I'm driven down, pressing lower back into the ground, squeezing my rib cage, trying to get the two sides of my rib cage to touch, okay? 5 reps, 10-second holds with these, and contract. Drive that rib cage down, suck that stomach in, press that lower back into the ground. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. That's probably pretty tough for you. These are muscles that we don't really use. Let's pull down, touch the rib cage together, press lower back into the ground, and hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Pull down, hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more. Pull rib cage in, drive lower back into the ground. Bring the front of your pelvis towards the front of your rib cage. Try to smallen that gap as much as you can and hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. 1 more here. Suck rib cage in, draw belly button in, press lower back into the ground, and hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Awesome, guys. From here, we're going to take that concept. Let's continue progressing like we've been doing the whole class, okay? So we're going to be on our hands and knees now. Same thing, I want you to think about sucking that rib cage in, same thing you were doing. And now what I want you to do is you're going to bring your belly button, and I want you to suck it in as much as you can as you're doing that, okay? So I'm drawing my rib cage in. I'm going to suck in as much as you can, vacuum seal my core. Keep that pelvis tucked underneath, and we're going to hold that for 10 seconds, okay? Suck belly button in, draw rib cage down, tuck pelvis under, don't let that move, and hold. 10, 9, suck that belly button in. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Good, you're totally relaxed. 4 more. Pelvis tucks under, suck belly button in, draw rib cage in, and hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. 3 more. Tuck pelvis under, suck belly button in, draw rib cage in, hold. 10, 9, 8, suck in, suck in, suck in, create that pressure. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. 2 more here. On the second one, we're going to bring our knees off the ground and we're going to hold. Tuck tailbone underneath. Suck belly button up towards spine. Draw rib cage down and hold. Create that pressure. Keep it there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Excellent, guys. One more. Same position. We're just going to bring our knees up off the ground. Again, if that's too hard for you, stay right where you are. No big deal. Tuck that pelvis, suck that belly button in, draw rib cage down, knees come off the ground and hold. Don't lose that belly button. Suck it in as hard as you can. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Awesome, guys. That's really tough stuff. If you've never done that stuff before, that's going to be really hard, and you're probably going to be pretty sore in that position, okay? But activating that deep diaphragmatic breathing muscles, that stuff is crucial in getting everything moving properly, but really keeping that lower back safe and healthy, okay? Last thing we're going to do, finish with some breathing. Let's lie down onto our backs. From here, let's just go hands on your half on your rib cage, half on your stomach. Dig heels into the ground. Tuck pelvis underneath. Really press that lower back into the ground. From here, I want you to expand through the rib cage. Inhale for 8 seconds. And then drive rib cage down. Big exhale for 6 seconds. Big inhale for 4. Drive rib cage down. Try to touch rib cage to the front of the pelvis for 8. In 4. Out 8. Dig heels into the ground. In 4. Drive rib cage down. Press lower back into the ground. Out 8. In 4. Out 8. Last one, in 4. And out 8. Awesome work, guys. Really good stuff today, okay? Again, with the lower back, 3 key things we really want to work on. Creating that abdominal pressure within the abdomen and getting that core turned on. That's really going to help keep the lower back nice and safe. Getting that transverse abdominis muscle, getting our breathing patterns down is going to really help everything move better. Creating some spinal movement, and especially just some disassociation from the lower back from the rest of the spine, and getting our hip external rotator in particular, just getting the glute and all of those hip extensor muscles and rotator muscles opened up, moving, active. That stuff is really, really going to help with lower back pain, okay? Obviously, nothing is better than an individualized assessment, so if you guys need anything like that, please feel free, let me know, in person or virtual. We can do anything along those lines, okay? See you guys next class.